where, with age, authority just comes naturally. It doesn't really matter if the
Oh
person is
man,
smart or not, as long as the person is
Isabel,
older, right?
preach it.
Like,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
and then I also noticed that, when on K-drama, whenever Koreans meet, the first thing that they would ask each other is like, how old are you? So they could like
uh,
determine like if, who is the
yeah.
senior,
They
who
ask
they
for your.
should speak formally. Do you do that?
Yep. Hell no. I hate that, man. When a guy does that, I'm like, man, you must have like, uh, I'm phrasing this from like Pete Davidson. All that. I was like, man, you have some small dick energy, man. Like, I can't stand that shit. Like, it pisses me off. It's like, oh, just because your parents, screwed each other a year before, that you're older, that you're better than me. No, it has nothing to
Exactly.
do with that. Yeah, like, sorry, I don't mean to be like on off tangent. It's just I met so many guys like that, and this is the thing too. I'm a pretty big guy, and I'll stand my ground. So when they try to mouth, I'm like, all right, then force me to tell you, and that's I guess where my anger side comes. But it's to reiterate a point, like, see how silly that is, like that doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. So yeah, I totally get it. So Korean people, the first time, like, you sit down, on your tiny little chairs, we're doing barbecue, having soju, whatever. They don't ask for the age. They ask what your birth year is. They ask when you're
Ah,
born. So you always just say the last two digits. That's what you say.
right.
So I would say like, oh, Mesai, which is like, oh no, Mesai, that means like, oh, how old are you? They're really asking like what year you are. So I'll be like, Pai Chi, which just means 87. So, for 1987. And, like, some guys will be like, "Oh, you're supposed to call me Hyung." Hyung means like older brother, you
Mm,
know. And I'm like, "Yo, dog, I'm yo. If I'm calling you older brother, you better call me daddy, because I am way bigger than you, bro. Like you're not. I'm not calling you that, But I do think it is endearing when this is how it works for me. This is my philosophy. If someone wants to call me Hyung, right? I never tell them to call me. I will tell them specifically, don't call me Hyung unless you actually
mm,
really mean it. Like it's out of love. So I have a few guys
wow.
that that call me that. They're like, "Oh, Hyung," because they generally want to call me that. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
So I think that's how it should be. That's how I mean. There's no bill for it, right? But if you could reform it, I would say that's the first thing you should do. So if you have any Korean listeners out there, if you're one of those dudes, shame on you, bro. I'm not gonna call you that. All right. Actually, I'm not lying. I will just be polite. I will do it if they're nice. But if I think you're a piece of shit, yeah, bro. I'm just gonna tell you I'm Chinese at this point. So no.